Alright, there we go. Hello again, everybody. This is Derek, and I am back with another Wargaming Weekly. Yeah, for sure, maybe. I don't know. Whoa, look how dark that my camera is. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I was filming something earlier today, and I adjusted my camera's settings. I think I might have overdid it. Okay, so bear with me while I touch the sky. Hold on. Logitech. There we go. Okay, hold on. Exposure, I have it. Yeah. There we go. That should be reasonable. Okay. Reasonably. Okay, let me change this to that. That looks good. That looks good. So how's everybody doing this morning? Hopefully you're doing as good as I am, because I'm doing very good. I had an extremely profitable weekend. I had a sale, and there was about, I don't know, 24 people that took advantage of the sale a lot. I mean, one guy ordered something like, okay, let me think about it, something like 30 boxes of miniatures. And another guy ordered some Old Glory. He ordered like 24 bags. Yeah, so I actually, even though there wasn't a whole lot of customers, they took it. Those few customers, you know, like 24 customers, they really took advantage of the sale. So I'm happy for them, because this weekend I had a sale that was 25% off of everything. That sale should be over. My new sale, or my previous sale, is now back to being active, which is 10% off of everything that's painted or built. So that's the current sale. It's 10% off. If I have some painted miniatures that you've been looking at, pre-painted or I painted or built, assembled, it's all on sale, 10% off. Just FYI. All right, I just took care of that. I put everything out into the shipping, so I don't have to think about that. It's all out there ready to go. I've got a couple of boxes right here that I want to open and look at before we get started painting. Plus, I have some tea that I'm letting steep over here. It's probably done. I mean, it looks pretty dark, so I probably should take it out. This tea was a gift from one of my customers. He sent me like 3 or 4 packages of tea. Because apparently he owns a tea company. That's pretty cool. I'm not going to dox him or anything, but he's very cool. Okay, this is getting low. I might have to refill this. Maybe not on camera, but maybe when we're off camera. So I'm thinking of, because I really enjoy building terrain. It's one of my passions. Painting is a passion, but also building terrain is a passion of mine. And I've been thinking, I'm thinking that I would like to build terrain for my store. I mean, just because any terrain that I've got in the store right now, which is a little bit, here and there, got some buildings, I've got some trees and some hedges and stuff like that, but I don't have a whole lot of terrain. But I've been thinking to knock some pieces out, and then put it on the store. The problem with that is terrain has a size of its own. Hedges and walls and stuff like that, I could build millions of those and there won't be a problem. But when you start talking about hills and buildings, and ruins, and plowed fields and stuff like that, that takes a little bit of space. And that's one of the reasons what's been keeping me from doing it, is because all my space is taken up by miniatures. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. Okay, my mic is good. The chat is good too. So if you chat, I should be able to read it and enjoy it. Okay, so as we get started here, this is a French commission for a customer. Obviously, it wouldn't be a commission if it's not for a customer. I'm going to put some things to the side that I don't plan to be painting in today's video, in today's live stream. I'm going to paint the blue jackets on these guys. This guy is not finished, right? I knew that. Okay, he's going to have to get completed, and I'm going to try to move all of these to over there because these guys have their blue jackets finished. But before we do that, one of the reasons why I wanted to move the horses so that I could get to this knife. It's an X-Acto knife. Okay. Little heads up, anecdote or whatever. I've been having troubles with my fingers getting blisters, right? I don't know if it's my age. I'm not eating enough collagen. I don't know what it is. Maybe I don't have enough calluses on my fingers. Maybe I'm a pansy, a pussy, whatever. But I mean, to be honest, it's been years. Yeah, literally, it's been years since I've done hard labor, right? And these hands are surgeons' hands. They're like painters' hands. And whenever I do something hard, like building a fence or something like that, my hands blister up, and easily. And yeah, this finger doesn't have a blister, but you can see, I don't know if you can see, it's red, right? So, and it's red, I'm concerned that it might be You know, I'm taking preventive measures by putting this little cozy over it. But this finger, last night I was beating my meat. No, I wasn't. It was last night. I was boxing up a bunch of miniatures. Remember what I said? 30 boxes and tons of Old Glory miniatures, and there was a single D&D miniature, and books and dice, and yeah, I just had a lot of sales being packaged up and shipped out this morning. And last night, after everything was done, I was on my computer and I was touching the keyboard, and I was like, man, this finger's awful sensitive. I wonder what's going on. Because I was working on my Traveler role-playing game, trying to get it all set up. And I was typing, and then I looked down at my hand, I looked at it, and there was this massive blister on my hand. I mean, it's like huge. If I took this off, I mean, you can't really see it, luckily, because I put a Band-Aid over it, obviously. But there was this huge blister right there. I mean, it was giant. And I was like, man, that sucks. I can't get rid of these blisters. All the other fingers are good to go. I don't have any blisters on any of the other fingers. That's the only one. And what's funny is, I was washing my hands yesterday afternoon. I was washing my hands, and I was like, man, I don't have any blisters. This is awesome. You know, I'm feeling good. And then last night I had that blister, and I was like, what the hell? I got another blister. Oh man. Okay, I don't know. So if you guys know, or what is it in my diet, or what kind of like vitamin, or what am I missing that is that helps out your skin? I was thinking it was collagen, but maybe that's hair. I'll have to look it up. I don't know what helps skin. Okay, so I've got this Perry miniature here. It's sealed up, and I don't have any idea what's in this. I don't know what's in this. I believe that Perry sent this as part of a box set, because I ordered this bundle, and I think it came with a free miniature, and I think that's what this is, which probably means it's a knight or something. And this, I just recently listed a bunch of World War II miniatures on the site last night. That was part of the thing I was typing. And every one of them was listed, you know, GWW, which is like German World War. And then there's WW, which is actually the British World War, right? And then there's US. And so I looked at this, and I was like, is that a W? Are these W's? WW? And what is that? Is that a 13? Is that a 73? What is that? So, I was like, the Perrys or whoever was boxing this up just went, just had a brain fart or something on this. Okay. And this is oddly taped at the ends instead of the sides like everything else. But that's why I wanted the knife, so I could cut that open. So I'm going to open it up and look at it and try to determine what it be like. We'll do that one first. Okay. They're guys with rifles. Okay, so it is WW. Probably British, because that's the WWs are British. I mean, that's part of the code. Yep, and they've got... Looks like they're advancing. Advancing with rifles. They're beautiful models. Perry always does beautiful models. Okay. Well, at least now I know what they are. They're British advancing. Okay. I did cut it, right? Yep. Yeah, it's cut. Box doesn't want to open. All right, there we go. And it is... a single knight, but there's accessories in there. Looks like there's a spear that could go in that hand. Yeah, full plate. Probably War of the Roses. Yeah, I think it was War of the Roses. I think I bought a bundle of War of the Roses. And there was like a free figure when you buy the bundle. I turned off autofocus, so you're not going to get a good view of that guy. Unless... There we go. Yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty figure. All right, guys. Unfortunately, that coffee that I had before the tea here decides it wants to go through me. So we're going to take about a 5-minute break, and I'll be right back. And then I will be right back. There we go. Hey, I'm back. All right. Yeah. Okay, so let me put my painting glasses on. And oh, there it is. I was like, where's that other? Okay, what I'm using is, here I can put these off. I also have a couple, squeaky, squeaky. Okay, I also have two more boxes of British Napoleonic and KGL Command. But when I went to go post them for sale, what I do is, if I've got a box, a miniature, a book, or something, I'll go to the website of the manufacturer. I'll find the item, and I'll copy the picture, and I'll save it on my computer. And then whenever I go to list that item on eBay, I can pull the pictures that I've already got saved. Um, if I don't have, if the website, or like if it's my item that I painted or it's something like that, then I will take a photograph of it. Usually I'll take a dozen or more photos from all different angles, and just so you can see what it is, close-ups and everything. Well, these two boxes of Napoleonic British, I went to the Perry website and it said no photos available. It was like the one thing that didn't have any photos. So I put that off to be done at a future date. I figured I'd take my own photos and then so I can list it. You know what I mean? Yeah, you all know what I mean. You know where I'm coming from. Okay, this guy doesn't really need a cozy. I've just been wearing it because of that red. Um, Now, if you've been following my channel and my uh, other live streams and stuff like that, you know that I started these last week and I haven't really had an opportunity to work on them at all. I mean, I did like 1.5 sticks of blue off camera. And partially that was due, or I should say, the reason why I haven't really had a chance to touch it was because I've been really, and I mean really, 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 really hard at work getting my Traveler campaign ready to go in Roll20. So I've been taking the PDFs and taking screenshots of different charts, tables, and rules and maps and uploading them. And I've been typing up stuff to help me run my campaign. Now, this campaign I ran live I have books I don't know if you can see it. I don't think you can. But there's traveler books on the wall over there. And the campaign that I'm running is called the Pirates of Drinax. I bought that like 4 years ago and ran it with a group of guys. And then it kind of dissolved and faded and fell apart. And so now I'm trying to get back into it. But I don't play face to face anymore. I only play online. And so what I'm trying to do is take all the PDFs and upload them to my virtual tabletop. And it's kind of funny because there's a different desire, I would say is the word, to play Traveler as opposed to playing Harn, right? I guess Traveler is a little bit more popular, or maybe it's a little more well known or something, because I put out inquiries about 6 months ago, maybe a little longer, saying, you want to play Harn? We're playing this campaign and I'm looking for players and blah blah yada yada. And I had like 4 people approach and say, yeah, I'd like to play. And 2 of those, one of those, hold on, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, one of those was one of my regular players, one of the guys that likes to play in my games. And so really, I only got like 3 new players. And I was like, okay, whatever. 4 is good. And then over time, players drop out because they don't realize that Harn is ruthless. And I do mean the rule system. The rule system is just unrelenting, you know. But it's also, I'm going to say, slower paced. It's not like we're going to go into a dungeon and clear it out and get 1,000,000 gold and become superheroes overnight. We're going to level and get hit points and new special superpowers. And no, this is not that kind of a game. Talking to you, Dungeons and Dragons. It's more of a realistic combat system. When I say realistic, I mean crunchy, if you understand what I mean by that. And maybe not realistic, but everything's more realistic than D&D. But Checkers is more realistic than D&D. And so I put out a request, got these players, a couple of them dropped out, so I put out another request, only like 2 players, replied, and So basically over time, I was only able to keep like 3 to 4 players active, which is it's kind of a hard thing to do, to constantly be trying to shoehorn new players into a story I was telling, right? I was telling a specific story with the assumption, a false assumption, but still, I had an assumption that these players were dedicated. That they were going to stick it out till the end of the story. But that's not the case. These people I've never played with before, except for one. So they had no loyalty to the game, or they weren't committed to the game. And it wore on me. People dropping out and then me having to put new people into the game. It got to a point where I just said, F it. I'm not doing this anymore. I give up. And so that's when I said, I'm going to go back. I've had a couple of people ask me to play some Traveler, and I said, you know what, I'm going to go back to this campaign that I ran before. We had only finished the first chapter, right? Which, wait, what? What? Yeah. These guys are all wearing soft caps. I know I put a bunch of guys in soft caps just to, because when I build the units, I'm going to kind of intermix them to kind of give the units a variety. These guys all have, so I put them all on one stick so it'd be easier to find them and paint them. Okay. I almost forgot. I need to start at the shoulders. It's just a thing that I do. It's not required, you know. But I find that if I do the shoulders first, the back of the neck, between the neck and the pack, the upper back, I won't forget, because it's kind of a little hard to get to. I'm using kind of a giant brush. It's got a decent point on it, but it's really big and thick, because I don't care if I mess up or if I paint outside the numbers, because this is just the first color. Yeah, so now, so my Traveler game, I said, okay, guys, I'm going to run a Traveler game. And 2 of my previous players, they're pretty much the ones that talked me into it. And I'm like, okay, we'll do it. We're gonna do this. And I said, I don't know what I'm gonna do with my Traveler campaign, but give me a few days to figure it out. And then after a few days, I figured, let's just go ahead and continue that campaign that we started earlier, that I only got through the first chapter. And there's 15 chapters, approximately. That's kind of a lie, to be honest. Man, I'm lying to you guys. No, I'm fibbing because okay, let me touch on the topic. I'm scatterbrained. I was starting to start a new topic. So I started. I said, okay, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna continue on with this campaign. We only did the first chapter. What I'll do is I'll recap the first chapter for all the other players, the new players that have never played in the first chapter, and we'll just consider them new to the crew. You know, maybe they were picked up on a planet or hired after chapter 1. So they would know about it because you guys talk about it. You share it with them. But they didn't actually participate, just like the players didn't actually participate. And so I don't have any problem with that. That should be good. I presented that to the players. They were all cool with it. All right. So then I post something on the Roll20 looking for players section. And I figure, I'll really shoot for about 3 more players, right? Because that'll make the party about 5, which is a good size, not too big, but also there's enough that there can be a lot of good interactions and role playing between the party and stuff. And I said, but just in case, I'll allow 6 or 7, right, maximum. Just in case there's a lot of interest. So I post that I'm looking for 7 players. Actually, I just posted I'm looking for players, but in the software I type 7. And within a day and a half, I had 9 players. I told the last 2, I said, unfortunately, we're full. The ice machine. I said, unfortunately, we're full. If somebody drops out, I'll notify you. Stay in touch. Bloody, bloody. Right? And I'm like, oh my. And then internally, I'm thinking to myself, people want to play Traveler. That's awesome. Because Traveler is, and always has been, my favorite role-playing game. And it has nothing to do with the mechanics of the game. Because there's been, 9 editions or more of Traveler. Let's see if I can name them all. Classic Traveler. That's the little black books, the LBB. Little black books. And then there's Mega Traveler, which came out, and that had a different set of rules. And then there was Traveler: The New Era. That had its own books and rules. Then there was, Far Future Enterprises reacquired the rights to Traveler and reprinted all the little black books in these giant orange books. So so technically that's not a new edition, it's just a reprint. So Classic, Mega, and New Era. And then there was the open game license, D20. So there's a Traveler, they call it T20, but it's basically D20 modern put in the Traveler universe. That's basically D&D 3.5 / Pathfinder, which was the worst set of rules. Okay, so you had, let me recap that again. Traveler, Mega Traveler, the New Era, D20. And then you had T4, which is supposedly the 4th edition of Traveler, but really it's not because of D20. But the D20 version was kind of like a not official, that was a third party kind of deal. So there's T4, which is what's called Mark Miller's Traveler. Because Mark Miller is the one that came up with Traveler in the first place. And then while we're playing Mark Miller's Traveler, they came out with, oh, wait a second, I'm losing my mind. There's another version of Traveler. There's T5. That's the newest version of the official Travelers. There is Mongoose Traveler, which is the set of rules that I am running. Oh yeah, now I remember. There's GURPS Traveler. Steve Jackson wrote a bunch of books for Traveler, and put Traveler in the, or used the GURPS rules for Traveler. Now I don't know if you're all familiar with GURPS and Steve Jackson, but basically, little history lesson. He used to work for a company called Metagaming. Metagaming put a game out, one of his games. I think he was like a co-author or something of this game called The Fantasy Trip, which was melee and wizards and in the labyrinth. And then Metagaming went under. I guess it was bad management. I'm guessing it was bad management. I don't know. I wasn't there. So Steve Jackson formed his own company. Guess what it's called? Steve Jackson Games. And took the fantasy trip and ruined it. I'm not going to say ruined it. That's a little harsh. But he ruined it. He made a game called GURPS, which basically is the fantasy trip with a few extra rules. But when he made GURPS, I think he had plans to not stop there. And that's why it's called the generic universal role-playing game, right? GURPS. So now, because it's generic, he could plug in any world he wanted. He could put in fantasy. He could put he could make it with superheroes. He could do robots. He could do science fiction. He could do Cthulhu. He could do whatever he wanted because he made this generic system that is adaptable for all these universes. And one of them was Traveler. So GURPS Traveler. And I have a ton of his books over there. I mean, almost all of them. But not because I liked the GURPS rules. It was because I like Traveler. And so I collect basically all the Traveler books out there. You know, no matter what rule system it's from. And those are the ones I've played. I've played T1, T2, T3, T4, T5, GURPS, Mongoose 1 and 2. And out of all of those, I actually like Mongoose the best. Mongoose is probably the closest to classic, like first edition, than all the other ones. So I could take any of my classic books, which I have a lot of, and I could plug that into a Mongoose game with little or no effort. Stats are the same. The skills are the same. Some of the die rolling's better in Mongoose, I think. Mongoose has a rule in it that I think might have been inspired by D&D 5th edition, which is, you know, D&D calls these rules advantage and disadvantage, which basically means with advantage you roll 2 dice and you take the best one, and disadvantage you roll 2 dice and take the worst one. Right? That's D&D 5th edition. Where in Traveler they renamed it, copyright, I don't know why, but they call it a boon or a bane. But it's basically the same thing. Now you're always rolling 2 dice in Mongoose for skill checks and stuff like that. It's a 2 dice system. But with boon, you roll 3 dice and you take the best 2. In Bane, you roll 3 dice and take the worst 2. I thought that was a really... I really like that rule. I've always liked the advantage-disadvantage rule from D&D 5th edition. And apparently Mongoose liked it as well. So, back to my campaign. Now that I've shared that with you. Now I'm painting their little... See, these guys have little soft caps rolled up underneath their ammo cartridge cases. And they're also wearing soft caps on their head. I'm not going to... I think I mentioned this the last time I started painting these. I'm not going to convert these cartridge cases to without hats just to satisfy someone's anility. Their grognardiness. Their rules lawyering advocacy. Okay, so the Pirates of Drinax. It's not about pirates, which is funny. The way it's worded and the way it's presented, you think it's all about pirates in and around this world called Drinax. Well, it's really not that. What it is, see, what it is the ruler on Drinax, he's pretty much down on his luck, right? He doesn't have a huge navy or he doesn't have like a giant army or, you know, multiple planets under his control and stuff. His family used to, but they were defeated in a war a bunch of years ago. The world is devastated. It's a wasteland nowadays. And he's trying to get back on top of his game, right? All right. Well, he finds this ship, which is from the Old Kingdom, right? And it's run down, fallen apart, but it's super high tech. And it's a warship. It's like a commerce raider, what they call them. They're kind of like, it's a hit and run type of ship, right? All right. But he doesn't really have a navy, remember? I mean, he's probably got a few ships, but he doesn't have like a standing navy. So he confronts this group, which is the players, and offers them a job and says, I've got this ship. I would like you to borrow it. And I would like you to be ambassadors for him amongst all these worlds that used to be as part of his kingdom. Go to them and try to convince them that they want to be part of his kingdom. Use whatever persuasion techniques that you think would work on these worlds. And in the meantime, I'm going to give you permission to do whatever you need to do to the shipping lanes, i.e., where it comes that Pirates of Drenex. He goes, I'm going to give you permission to do whatever you need to do to these shipping lanes to generate revenue for yourself and to put pressure on the Empire, which is another faction that trades in his area of space. Because his area of space is pretty much has no government. And he's basically trying to establish one. And he said, put pressure on their shipping so that they report back either the crews, the ship crews, or the planets that the cargo was destined for, to make the Empire ask for him to stop. Because as soon as they ask him to stop, it legitimizes his claim to the throne. It basically says the Empire recognizes me as the entity that's causing problems. And so the players become these for lack of a better word, pirates, freelance, freebooters. What was Lafayette? He wasn't a pirate. He was not a corsair, maybe a corsair. What's the word I'm looking for? But basically, pirates that are official. And the area of space that he's asking them to patrol in is pretty damn big. He's not being specific, like, I need you to go to this planet or this planet. He's saying, all of these planets, if you can convince any of them to join, that's great. You know, some of them might be more likely to join than others. So just do what you can. Right? And that's what he was doing. He's really open about it. He says, just send 10% of everything you earn back to me. Because I'm letting you use my ship. If you need it repaired or you need to buy fuel, do that on your own. I don't have the resources. He doesn't have any bases. He doesn't have any influence with the other planets yet. See, that's the key. He wants to have influence with them. So goodwill goes a lot further than threats. So don't just fly over their planet and threaten to nuke them. Okay, so I'm not going to go into the entire story. It's long. It's long. I mean, it's long. I've got 3 thick hardback books, and that's the first 15 chapters. And that is the Pirates of Drinax campaign that you can buy off the shelf, or from the website or whatever. But that's not where it ends. The Pirates of Drinax take place in some place called the Trojan Reach, which is an area of space just outside of the Empire, between the Empire and the Aslan high rate, which the Aslan are the Kazin from the Man Kazin Wars, if you remember that. Basically, they're lion creatures. The Kzinti from Star Trek. But basically, they're lion people, and they're warlike. They're basically Klingons. Think of them like a Klingon. And old Klingons, not the new ones. Well, I guess the era of Worf might be correct. Yeah, that might be right, because they're still pretty warlike. Okay, so there are 6 adventures that were published in the Trojan Reach, which I have all of. And there are 6, I think there's 6 adventures that are expansions to the Pirates of Drinax. And they're releasing more all the time, it seems like. Plus, there's a bunch of adventures from first edition and second edition that, if I wanted to repurpose them for the Trojan Reach, I could, and I will. Okay, so right there's 12, just with those, there's 12 additional adventures on top of the 15 chapters. Now, each of these chapters is not just one adventure. Each of these chapters is about 4 to 6, I'm going to say 5 adventures. Or connected adventures, I should say. They're connected. That's why they're in the chapter. So, as a player and a game master, because it's kind of an open world situation, kind of, because the players can pick and choose where they want to go next and who they want to try to convince to be in the new kingdom. Each one of those adventures probably take 2 to 3 sessions to complete, or more. Chapters, remember, I'm not talking chapters, I'm talking adventures. So, they only did the first chapter, which happened to be 7 adventures, but they only did 6 of them. One of them is still pending. They don't know about. And I'll let them know when it becomes important. And those 6 adventures they went on probably took them about 6 months of game time or real time. Real time. So if I was to just extrapolate, there's 14 more chapters in the book, each with approximately 5 adventures. What is that? 50, 70 adventures. And then the additional 12, there's like 82 adventures. And I'm not even talking about the anomalies, but just the adventures. So I'm just going to stop at 80. Let's just say there's 80 adventures. Each one takes 2 weeks. That's if they're fast, right? They're like, wham, bam, thank you, man. That's still 160 weeks. Right? Did I do my math right? 3 years. So if these players can hang, stick it out, and don't collapse under my harsh rule, because I'm going to tell you, man, I'm a mean game master. I mean, I'm nice personally, but when it comes to the game mastering, I don't take any shit from my players. No, you can't retcon this. No, you can't buy a weapon that you forgot to buy when you were on the planet. No. No. This isn't customer service. I'm not doing everything in my power to find a way to say yes. No, I'm finding everything in my power to say no. That's actually not true. I try to say yes to my players But I also don't take any shit. You get shot in the head and you die. He's like, oh no, I forgot. I had a helmet on. No, you didn't. Your character is dead. No. I actually don't want to kill anybody. I'm going to be honest. I definitely don't want to kill anybody. Because character creation takes all night. We're going to have a day 0 on December 6th where we make characters. And I don't know if I'm going to record it. We might only, or stream it. I think I am going to stream it. But it's probably going to be more than a couple hours. And I said yes to 7 players, which is actually way more than I wanted to play with. So the players don't really know this yet, but I'm actually going to punish attendance. Or I should say poor attendance. Normally I don't care and just say, you show up at a game, great, you participate. If you don't show up at a game, then you don't get any experience for, when I pass out experience or whatever. But I think I'm going to set it up right up front so they know what's going on. Don't want to drop this on them in the middle of the campaign. But I've already kind of eased them into it. I said, if you're going to play this campaign, you need to be committed and you need to show up at every game session. If you miss one, I understand life is life. Your work schedule might have changed, or you're covering for somebody at work, or you had a death in your family or something. I used to have a player that used that excuse more than once when he missed a game. One of his uncles passed away. Then his dad. Then an aunt. It got ridiculous. I even told my wife, I said, oh, someone else died in his family. Something's going on. They're not eating right or something. They're not exercising. They're chronic game disease or something. I don't know what they got. But life happens. I understand that. You got to go to school. You got to test. Your car breaks down. Stuff like that happens. I get it. But That happens. And if it happens, no big deal. Don't worry about it. But if it happens 2, 3 times, I'm going to kick you from the game. One time, 2 times, 2 times maybe, I'm starting to wonder. 3 times, no, it's too big of a coincidence. You're out. Because at that point, you're telling me that the game is not important. Whatever it is that you're doing is more important, which might be work, might be school, which is fine because you got to work. I get it. And if that's more important to you, which it should be, then I'm going to let you go to work. And don't worry about, no stress. Don't try to be making it to the game because you're out. That's what I mean by I'm a dick DM. Because I don't take that shit. If you miss a game, I put you on a list. You're on my poor attendance list. And I say this, I don't really have any problems with players. Usually, if they're not going to show up, they tell me, hey, I'm dropping out of the game because I'm not having fun, or it's not, it's not what I thought it was going to be, or I just, like this one guy joined my game. It was a D&D game. Was it D&D? No, it was Harn game. He joined the Harn game. He played 2 sessions, and during character creation, there were some red flags that came up, and we needed the player, so I overlooked the red flags. It was like, I was like hoping that I was mistaken. But he mentioned in character creation that he was really excited to try this game. He wanted to see what the mechanics was like. And you mentioned something about he normally doesn't stay in games very long because he gets bored with games and he moves on. And I was like, well, hopefully he won't be bored, hopefully, this or that. Well, he makes a character, he plays in like 2 sessions, and then he says, okay, well, I tried the rules, I know how he worked now, and thank you for the game, and I'm out. And I was like, damn. Thanks for telling me that you were leaving. Have fun. But I'm really looking forward to this Traveler game. Like I said, I love the world. When I say the world, it's kind of like, it's hard to say because Traveler is a space game and you visit like a bunch of different worlds. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about all the lore and the empire and the factions and the spaceships, the aliens. You know, I dig all that kind of stuff. And I like the story that Mark Miller was telling and how he explained, you know, how ships go from place to place and how the government works and stuff like that. So that's why I like Traveler. Not the mechanics, not the dice rolls. Because, and you probably all know this, I don't really care about rules. I care about the story, and the rules are just a means to get to the end. A means to the end. You got to have them to adjudicate like conflict and stuff. To be fair, you know, or to make the players stressed out because they're getting shot with a submachine gun. But if we were playing Mongoose Traveler or Classic Traveler or, you know, Mega Traveler, it doesn't really matter to me. But I do have a favorite, and it's Mongoose. Mega Traveler is a close second. I considered running Mega Traveler. The problem with Mega Traveler it's a little bit more complicated. One reason why I liked 5th edition D&D was because it's less complicated. As a game master and as a player, you shouldn't be thinking about the mechanics of the game to be able to make a decision on what you do. You should do stuff based on what you think you would do or what you think your character would do. Not, oh, well, if I do this, I'll get a -1, and if I do this, I'll get a -3, so I'm going to do this. Oh. That really takes the immersion out of the game when you start really thinking about the rules. So, easier systems, I think, in my personal opinion, I think that easier rules let you think about the game, strategy, tactics, role-playing, whatever you're doing, more. I think I mentioned this about my Napoleonic set of rules that I'm writing. I'm trying to make it easy to the point where you're not thinking about the rules because you know them forwards and backwards. Now you're just thinking of strategy. And, you know, where should I put my troops? not. So what's the modifier if I'm up on this hill? And it opens the door. This is another really important aspect. It opens the door to people that have learning disabilities. I don't mean that in a negative, because not everybody can learn at the same pace as everyone else. You know, it's, sorry, this is not a woke universe. Everyone is not created equal. Some people are smarter than others. It's just the way it is. And okay, it doesn't necessarily mean smarter. Okay, let me back that up. Some people learn differently than others. Some people have visual learning. Some people have learning by actions. Some people learn, but you can explain it to them verbally and they will learn it. When something is easier, it becomes less of an obstacle for everyone. That's why D&D 5th edition is so popular. They removed the what do they call it? Something entry. The barrier of entry. You remove that when something is easily grasped. And I know that there is one rule that bridged the gap for D&D. It was the one rule that opened the floodgates. And I know what rule it was. Do you have any idea what the... Oh, wait, we got a comment. Do you know what rule it is? It has something to do with the D20. But here, I'll tell you in just a second. Hi, I'm from the UK. I've been wargaming for years, busy painting AWI Perry at the moment. Hey, John Shepard. Shouldn't you be in Atlantis? Perry's got some good models, I'm going to have to tell you. They're some of the best, actually, I think. I really like their models. I should say I like their new models. Their old models, I think, were kind of bad. But anything that's on their website now, they're all beautiful. American War of Independence. I'm surprised you didn't call it the Revolutionary War. Being from across the pond and all. I think Britain is probably our closest brothers. It's it's like the brother you just can't live with. We had to move out. All right, now let's double check to make sure I didn't miss something. Oh, I'm glad I double checked because I missed a whole arm over here. And his coattail. Before I finish, let's make sure I didn't miss any of their other arms or coattails. Nope, just him. Okay, now let's do their caps. This is kind of a base coat. Once I get all the colors base coated, and it won't be every color, it's just certain colors are going to be base coated and certain colors are going to be put on after I wash them as detailing. So I'm going to go base coat, which is a lot of colors, most of the colors, and then a wash, and then a few colors are going to be details, like brass or whatever. Maybe not even brass. White straps probably will be detailed. Okay, all the little caps. Okay, they're done. So the one rule in I'm gonna hold off on doing that stand till last. I'm gonna have to double check. Those are the artillery guys. I think their pants are blue as well, but I'm gonna double check. And none of these guys are light infantry. They're all line infantry. I mean, they might be voltigeurs, but that doesn't make you light infantry. Just so you know, I have a bunch of AWI in 15 millimeter Old Glory. Plus, I've got a bunch of Old Glory 25 millimeter AWI. But the problem with my 25 millimeter AWI, all those bags are open. They're not they were basically opened and separated, and I was trying to make an AW Army. I really hate saying Army because I'm not actually building an army for like competitive play. I really don't do that. I build units that I could use in various scenarios. Because I'm a scenario guy. That's me. I like to play historical reenactments, not some point-driven battles. You know what I mean? I don't mind those games, don't get me wrong. I'll play them if I'm at a game club or something and that's what we're doing. But that's not what I prefer to play. If you're a painter and you might be looking to pick some paint up, AK has a 20% off sale today. Go to AK and take a look at their paints. I ordered a bunch today. I don't know how long it's going to take to get here from Spain, but shipping was also kind of high as well. You know, they had something to do with free shipping, and I didn't really pay attention to that. I probably should have. Yeah, I definitely should have. If they have free shipping for any reason, I probably should have just added a couple of paint bottles just to get to the free shipping. Because shipping alone was kind of expensive. I think I was paying 30 euros for my items. And then shipping was 20 euros. To me, that's too high. When it's 2/3 of your order. Or 2/5 or whatever. 20%. No, it's more than that. It's 40%. Dang. Yeah, 40% of my order was shipping. But with 20% off, I still probably got ripped off. But I got some paints that I'm happy to get, so. And I really like the AK. Vallejo is still probably my favorite, but AK is a close second. And Army Painter and Warlord are on the bottom of my list. But, okay, Warlord I think has stopped making their unique paint. I think they're just going with Army Painter. Because that's what it was anyway. It was Warlord was just repackaged Army Painter. So I think they're just going to sell Army Painter and not worry about relabeling it as Warlord. But they have a couple of good colors. And their paint is good. I mean, they've got some unique colors. Okay. Whoop, wait, wait, what? Wait, what's going on here? Okay. I was trying to do their shoulders first, and I just totally botched that on these guys. Mainly because they probably have epaulets. Well, they do have epaulets, but that might have been what distracted me. Now, I added some water to this paint last week. And what it's doing is, with this white primer, it's really auto highlighting. I'm kind of digging it. I'm digging the look. that it's given me. Oh, and FYI, I am not a fan of speed paints. Just to let you know. I'm also not a fan of zenithal priming for the same reason. But we'll get into that in a minute. So the one rule that made D&D accessible to the fairer sexes, that's one, and the learning impaired, and the twinks out there, was getting rid of charts to hit. So there used to be something called Sacco, and there's something before that, which was every class had a different to-hit number for armor classes. And armor classes used to be in the negative. Well, the good ones anyway. The lower the armor class was better. So like someone that had an armor class of 2 was better than someone that had an armor class of 5. Okay, just that alone was retarded. Yes, I said the R word. And then the charts that you had to consult based on your class to determine if you hit a specific armor class based on your level. Nobody wants to work with spreadsheets. Well, except you squad leader players out there would probably dig it. I used to play squad leader. I had almost all the squad leader books and boxes and tokens and maps and everything until ASL came out. As soon as ASL came out, I stopped playing squad leader. Why? Complexity. So now, if you don't play D&D, I'll tell you. So now, what broke the barrier and allowed people to get into role-playing D&D with little or no effort or brain power is that you have an armor class that goes up when it's better. Bigger is better. It's the way it's always should have been. And it's based directly on the number you need to roll to hit. So like an armor class of 11 means you have to roll an 11 to hit them. Simple. Easy. If you got an armor class of 13, you have to roll a 13. Now you get bonuses to hit, a plus, sometimes a minus, but a plus to hit, and that will be based on your level. And has nothing to do with your class. Which is kind of not good, because I would think that a first level fighter would have an easier way to fight than a first level wizard. But no, they both get a +2. And then, of course, your stat, like strength or dex or whatever it is for the weapon system you're using. But either way, pluses are good, minuses are bad, like it should be. Where in the old system, some pluses were good and some minuses were good. And you had to figure out the chart. It was a nightmare. And they thought they fixed it when they said, oh, let's just create this 2-hit armor class 0. And then we'll go up and down from there. That didn't fix anything. It just made it more convoluted. So if you're wondering, and this is my opinion, I don't know this for a fact. I haven't done any surveys, or I haven't read any data on this. But in my opinion, changing the 2-hit rules and all skills are based on the 2-hit rules. So the entire game is based on this one rule, is why more people are playing 5th edition than ever before. Why there are more girls playing. Because traditionally, numbers was a man's game. I think it has a lot to do with the left and right side of the brain. Men are more about analyzing situations, and women were more about enjoying or the feelings of a situation. And now they both can enjoy it because they both can figure out the rules. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. And that's why, back to me, because it's always about me. That's why I like the Mongoose system in Traveler. Because Mega Traveler and the original Traveler were very similar in that you had charts to deal with and tried to figure things out this way or that way. When you're trying to roll, every skill was different. every task you tried to do was different. But now, it's all the same. You roll 2 dice. You add your pluses. And you try to get the target number. For everything you do. For everything. Now they do have Boon and Bane, which advantage and disadvantage. I love that. There's a whole chapter in Traveler, the new Mongoose Traveler, that talks about Boon and Bane compared to just giving the player a plus. It's like, why don't you just give them a +1 if it's, or why don't you make the difficulty 1 less? Why is there a Boon or a Bane? Why do you even bother with that? Because imagine you're trying to make a skill roll to drive down the street. I'm going to drive my car down the street. Okay, that's like routine, so you only have to roll like a 6 on 2 dice. And you get your driving skill and your dexterity modifier. Okay, that's reasonable, right? That's a reasonable request. Now let's say you're trying to chase someone down the street. Well, now you could say it's opposed, where the lead car has to make a skill check, and then the trailing or following car has to beat it to succeed. Okay, that's reasonable. That's understandable. So where would a Bane or a Boon come in? And where would a plus come in? Well, the plus might be your car has GPS. So you get a +1 for all your driving skills. All right. So where's the Boon or the Bane? Let's say the car you're following is bright orange. Yeah, that's a Boon, right? It's going to help you follow him because... So you have the +1 for the GPS, and you get a Boon because he's orange. Or you could say you're trying to follow him in a thunderstorm. Well, that's a Bane. But the question that most people have is it a Bane or is it a minus to the skill roll? Well, that's a Bane, I think. I don't think that'd be a minus to the skill roll. But yeah, that's a little bit of a nuance. So it's really up to the referee, however he wants to do it. Wait a second. Okay. Looked like a little bit of the metal flash was still on that model, but no, it's just the way the mold is. I think I'm going to have a hard time running a role-playing game with 7 people pulling at my strings. Ooh, that's starting to hurt. Okay. It's digging into my finger. Yeah, so I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, I'm going to let the players pretty much decide this on their own, but I'm going to give them a little bit of a nudge, I should say, or a suggestion on how we should deal with it. But I'm not going to mandate it. But as an example, and I'm foreseeing the future here. They're going to go to a planet, right? I already know this is going to happen. Well, I don't know the exact details, but something like this is probably going to happen. They're going to go to a planet. They have 7 players. One of them is going to want to stay on the ship. And the other ones are going to go to a bar. And then maybe one of them is going to go shopping. Okay, that's no problem. The guy that's on the ship, I'll just ignore, right? Because if he wanted to be involved, he would be out and about with everyone else, so he doesn't want to be involved. Okay, that's fine. He can just sit there and listen to what happens to the other players. And then the ones going to the market, they're going to have no problem. They're going to go, they're going to find, buy, and sell, or whatever they're doing with their stuff. And then there's going to be a group going to a bar. And I'm just going to go to an extreme. They're going to get into a fight with someone in the bar. Just hypothetically. Then we're going to enter combat. The guys on the ship are not involved in the combat. The guys in the store are not involved in the combat. But the 3 that are in the bar, they roll initiative. And we play out a fight while everybody else is just sitting around listening to them have a good time. Fighting or whatever. And then they get arrested. They get their communicators taken away from them. They get thrown in the clink. Now I'm going to some extremes here, but I foresee something like this happening. They get thrown in the clink. And then I go to the guy at the shop and I say, "What would you like to do?" Well, I go to the clink and I get them out, or I pay their bail or whatever. And I'm like, how do you know that they're in the clink? You're not role playing if you do that. Because they're not, right? They would be using player knowledge that their character doesn't have. I'd be like, you don't know that they're in the clink. And then the guy on the ship says, well, I was monitoring communications, and no, you weren't. You didn't tell me you were monitoring communications. And even if you were, maybe they were out of range. I'm just guessing, throwing obstacles up just to make a point. Oh, interesting. Little piece of dust. And now they're sentenced to be killed. Or better yet, they're sentenced to be sent to the penal colony. And nobody on the ship knows anything. Nobody's of the wiser. And they don't care if you're an off-worlder or not, because their laws say that they don't care. Yeah, so I need to present that type of a scenario to the players so that they all kind of stick together. They all go shopping together. They all go to the bar together. I know that's kind of unrealistic. But so is spaceflight. And I kind of think of it like this. I'm venting right now, guys, so just bear with me. I kind of think of it like this. You're on a crew of a ship. Let's call it a submarine. You're on a submarine. It pulls into port, and you're allowed to go into town and hit the bar. You say, nope, I'm going to stay in my bunk. That's not realistic. You might not go to the bar, you might go to the mall, or you might go to a movie or something, but you're not going to stay on the ship. You're going to get the hell out. First opportunity. And you'll probably go in town with a buddy. or two, especially if it's a foreign port that you've never been to. That's what I'm saying. You guys should stick together, enjoy the sights together. But the problem that I'm having, and this is me putting a problem in where it probably doesn't exist, but I like to prepare for the worst. There are 7 of them. That's a lot to be all going to the same bar or all going to the same movie or whatever. You know, hanging out together. So I would expect them to go in multiple directions. And I would think that would be okay. I just want them to know that if you're not with the group that the action is happening to, then you just won't be in the action. There is a adventure, one of the 80 adventures, where the players find themselves on a planet that they've never been to before, and that they get a job offer, and only the people that respond to this job offer, I mean, like, it's a face-to-face. The guy says, you got to come down here and see me face-to-face so that I could tell you what the offer is. So let's say, like, 2 of them accept. And the other 5 say, nah, we'll just stay up at the Starport and we'll hang out at the bar and see if we can't pick up some chicks or whatever they're doing. And those 2 guys that respond run into an adventure. And I say, okay, guys, all of you guys that are in the spaceport, you know, picking up chicks, I'll see you in like 3 weeks after these guys go on their adventure. So, you guys have fun. I don't want that to happen to the party. But it will happen. And that's what I'm afraid of. Okay. Yeah, that's as far as I'm going with them there, guys. Them there, dudes. Okay, so let's clean the brush, shake the bottle up, and then I can do a little research that I have on my computer to make sure I'm not messing up with the artillery or the officers. Okay. I'm going to have to, well, it is almost a new month. At the beginning of every month, I usually go through my brushes and I clean the ones that can be cleaned, reconstitute them, usually with boiling water and brush soap. And if they can't be reconstituted, I delegate them as wash brushes or dry brushes and send them on their way after that even. Okay. Enough of the traveler mumbo jumbo. Let's see what we got here. We got some chatting going on. Let's see. I'm yelling into the mic. Hey, Jonathan's here. All right. Jonathan, this is a traveler rant rolling on the floor laughing. It was very much so. Also, hi, Mr. E. Hope you're well. I am well. I am very, very well. Minus one thing. I got a new blister on this finger. All my fingers, yesterday, all my fingers were good. No blisters. And I was like, I was looking at my hands and I was like, oh crap, it's been months since all my fingers had no blisters. And then, I don't know if you know this, but I had this huge sale this last weekend. And being Monday, all the packages had to go out today. And so I boxed everything up last night. And then last night, I was typing some stuff up for my Traveler game to get it ready. And it was hurting. Like I was hitting the keyboard and I was like, ow, something's not right. You know, it just feels uncomfortable or whatever. And then I decided, I looked at it and I was like, oh my gosh, there's like this giant blister. And I thought to myself, I was just blister free moments ago. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm weak. Because I don't do physical labor. I haven't done physical labor in a couple of years. I don't have calluses. Well, I do have a callus on this finger and this thumb. But these other fingers are all soft. Soft like pussies. Okay, so let's see here. I need to go check out my Marshals and Generals. No, my Waterloo project. No, commission paint. Hold on. Might be under commission paint. Okay, I'm having a hard time seeing anything. Give me a break. Dum 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 dum. Those look all like all the miniatures that I painted. That's not what I'm looking for. Okay, hold on. Let's hit OK on that. Move this into a position that doesn't affect anything. Whoops. Shrink this down. Okay. Let's try this page. French. Where you at, French? French. There you are. Old Frenchy. (1804) to, okay, that's the one I'm looking at. I'm not really sure what I'm looking at. Okay, that's not it. But it definitely, sorry, it definitely looks like the artillery. Well, the horse artillery had blue pants. What about... Why is that? I'm sorry, guys. I apparently lost my pictures. Hmm. I had some unit plates. Okay, maybe I put it under marshals and generals. I wouldn't think that I'd put it there. No. Hmm. Hmm. Gates of Antares? No, that wouldn't be it. Yeah, I would definitely think it would be on this page, but all I'm seeing is like Brunswickers and Dutch Belgian and okay, so and there's French. Aha! I found it. Okay. It was under my French file. Weird. Okay. Officer, where are you at? There's no real officer there. That's just all Fusiliers. Yeah. Hmm. Oh, that's an officer. He's got white pants. We're going to do that. We're going to do white pants. Now, what about artillery? Foot artillery. Did they have blue pants? I'm thinking they did, but I don't want to mess it up. Okay, I think I know where I need to go for this. Hmm. That's a horse. Okay. I'm gonna break down and maybe pull one of my books out. No, I don't think so. Let me move this out of the way. Where you at? There you are. I used abbreviations, but apparently that wasn't a good one. All right, so yep, foot artillery, blue pants. I was correct. Or gray. This guy's got a gray pair. They are in Peninsula. French foot, blue pants. Everybody's got blue pants. Except for the guard. They look like they're wearing white pants. Wait a second here. Wait a second. Yeah. 1804 to 1812. That's what we're looking at. That guy's wearing blue pants. Alrighty. Blue pants it is. For the artillery crew members. White pants for the officers. What is for the officers? Okay, let's shake this biatch up. Which my glasses, so I can see what I'm doing. Yeah, we're gonna do flesh next. Already 12:30. So I've got this one box. Now this is me. I'm gonna vent again. That's just me venting constantly. That's what you come here for, right? You come here to hear me vent. No, you didn't. But did I move this? Okay, so what do we got here? Hey, Kraus. We got Mr. Kraus saying, "Hey, nice shout out." All right, and hope I'm doing well. All right. Well, guess what? I am doing okay. Minus like middle finger? No, minus this finger here, which has this giant blister. Um, we just got it last night because of all the packages I had to mail out. And I'm drinking some of your tea right here. Hmm. Yeah. That one is the. Hmm. Which one is that? It's the. Well, it doesn't say it on the tea bag. Not the marzipan one, and it's not the lavender one. The other flavored one. I don't remember what it is. But it's good. I like the marzipan one best, actually. I think so far. I haven't tried the one that's in the tin, which I think is just Earl Grey. To me, that's just that's your normal tea. Well, I like black tea. Black tea's probably my favorite. I'm not really a green tea kind of person. So I think I'm going to do all the backs, because these officers are pretty much backless. So I can just get to their back. So I'm going to do all of their backs first. Backs of their arms, backs of their necks, backs of their backs. The coattails. Oh, I was saying, um, I I boxed up this order Friday, right? I put it in a giant box, one that would not fit in my mailbox because it's a monster. Oh, it's about 14 inches on the side, which isn't too big, but and it doesn't weigh anything because it's all plastic models. But I scheduled a pickup, which normally I don't have to do because um, I have this huge mailbox that I could put like a small dog in it. But uh, so I scheduled a pickup for that 14-inch box, right? And I've never had any problems in the past. Well, maybe once in a while, but not very often. But we have a new mail carrier, and she's not 100% reliable. Um, and I have a feeling. Well, no. Okay, let me rephrase that. So Saturday, I put the box out there to be picked up with the scheduled pickup, and it was never picked up. So I rescheduled it, but not for Sunday because no pickup on Monday or a Sunday, for today. And in the notes, I put uh, second time's the charm. I know what it means. And then so this morning, I made sure I got all the boxes and everything out in the mail, and then I made sure that that large package was out there as well for a pickup. I basically have a covered location for boxes, for large boxes. And so it's not actually out there on the street, right? Large boxes don't go on the street. So I wonder if I will get that picked up. I will try a third time, and if after the third time it doesn't get picked up, that's when I write the postmaster. and I say, "What's up?" Oh, sorry. Say, I've got a mail carrier that is failing to pick up. This I tried 3 different times, but we're only on the second attempt, so we'll see if it gets picked up. I'm not going to panic just yet. Um, for all you guys that have just got here, the 25% off sale is over with. Just ended last night. And we're back to the 10% off of painted and built items. So everything on the store that's either painted or pre-built or pre-painted or anything like that is 10% off. And that sale ends on the 8th of December. I made a comment on my store update that I'm going to reiterate to you guys. Even though you might be subscribed to my YouTube channel and you maybe you hit the bell icon so you'll be notified whenever I upload new videos, I recommend you follow me on eBay as well. There is a follow or subscribe to my store. Doesn't cost anything. So that when I put out newsletters, which is about twice a month, maybe a little less, but anytime I have a sale or something, I put out a store newsletter on eBay, like that 25% off sale. So if you weren't subscribed or follow me on eBay, you would never have been notified of that sale. Also, I drop a message sometimes on X. So follow me on X. XCOM. Extraterrestrial Combat Force. X.com. XCOM. Elon, he knew what he was doing. Okay. Yeah, I just want you to know that whenever I have a sale, I always put out a store newsletter on eBay. So if you're not subscribed to me on eBay, or now you don't have to be subscribed. It also goes to people that have recently bought from me. So if you're a recent customer, you would have gotten that email or that notification. But I don't know how long it takes for you not to be. I think it's 90 days for you not to be a recent customer. So if you haven't bought anything in over 90 days, you wouldn't have got that. You wouldn't have got that push, right? So, but if you were subscribed, you would have. And the reason why I'm saying it to you is because I still had a lot of stuff to sell. I'm surprised everything didn't go. But no, I did have a lot of huge sales. That's why some of the items had to go in these big boxes. Mainly because, like people were taking advantage of 25% off. They're freaking cleaning me out. That's good. I mean, I wouldn't have had the sale if I didn't want the sale. Does that make sense? That's good. But yeah, it's over with, and we're back to 10% off of painted. Yeah. Okay. Right. What am I doing? I'm painting. French officers. Go. And oh, there we go. Now I'm not too worried about overpaints. I'm using a ridiculously big brush for this. It's like a 0, I think. Yeah. So, and that's because it's the first color, and I'm going to go over it with other colors like red and white. And those colors, I will concern myself with staying in the lines, not overpainting and stuff like that. But this blue primary color, not too worried. Just a base coat. So if you're painting AWI, going back to somebody's chat, Jonathan, I think it was. No, it's actually John. John's painting some AWI, guys. Okay, and I don't know if you're still here, but if you are, I'm curious to know which AWI. Okay. What is this, Krause? What'd you say? What you might have is dystrotic eczema. Are you talking about my fingers becoming blistered? It's agitated through diet. Okay. Nickel is a big one. Nickel is an ingredient found in whole wheat and grains, rye, oats, cocoa powder, soy products, canned foods, dried foods. Okay, so are you saying that nickel causes it? Or are you saying that or are you saying that I should eat more whole wheat, grains, rye, oats, cocoa powder, soy products? Because I do eat a lot of oats, whole wheat, cocoa powder, soy products. Not so much anymore. I do eat canned foods. So are you saying that I should eat those things? Or are you saying that those cause it? Because if they cause it, that would explain a lot, because I eat a lot of that stuff. I always thought whole wheat was good for you. And oats as well. When I was younger, which is weird, right? When I was younger, I used to suffer from gout. I don't suffer from gout anymore. Ever since my toe was cut off, I am missing a toe. It was cut off when I got a blister at work and it got infected because I kept working on this blister at work it got infected. It got out of control. And finally went to the doctor. And he said, we're cutting it off. So I'm missing my pinky toe on my right foot. And I'm still paying those medical bills. Okay, these officers are a blue. Now these guys are top and bottom going to be blue. Except for the guys in the trench coats. Great coats, whatever you'd like to call them. They will be painted differently. And there are 2 of each. I was thinking about painting one of these guys with gray pants. When I say gray, I mean like a really light brown. You know, it's like a gray brown. Because remember, these guys are supposed to be in the peninsula. And they didn't have the perfect uniforms all the time. These guys have short coatees. Okay, this guy gotta think about what I'm doing over here. Alright. Yeah, because these guys aren't wearing like... You know, this guy's got a boot rolled down. All 3 of these guys just have long pants. Now this guy I'm going to paint blue pants. All you see is the caps and down. They're not tucked in or in a gate or anything like that. They're just out. Now this first guy I'm going to do gray. I saw epaulets and I was thinking officer, but actually these guys might be horse artillery. Because they've got those. No, they don't. They got the foot sabers. I had to rethink about that. Goes blue top and bottom. This is the guy that when I put the cannon on the, I'm gonna rephrase that. I've already got the cannon on the base, but when I put the crew on the base with the cannon, I'm going to glue this guy leaning up onto the carriage. His leg is propped up, and I used the Warlord photo of what the crew is supposed to look like on the base. And it shows the guy kind of leaning up, aiming down the barrel. That's his hand. They do have gaiters on, they're just under their pants. Okay. I'm gonna paint this guy with blue pants. It's tucked into the boot, but almost like, what do they call that? The, not pantaloons, but like breeches. Yeah, I'm not really too worried about overpainting anything. Okay. I think everybody that's supposed to have blue on them has blue on them. Nope, nope, nope. Cartridge cases. Remember the soft hats rolled up underneath the cartridge case? Okay. Yep. Okay, so everybody's good to go with the blue. I will have to do flesh next. I want to do flesh before I start doing collars and cuffs. Yeah. But I'm not going to be doing that today. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think I've got time to do flesh today. Speaking of which, the AK sale, I did order some flesh. Give me a sec. AK Interactive. Oh wow, I am super zoomed in. Isn't that the right button? It is. Okay, shrinking. Got it. Trying to go to my order. What do we got here? Orders. There we are. View. Yep, there we go. I ordered World War II uniform colors, which is a set. I ordered DAC soldiers uniform, which is the Africa Corps. And then I ordered field gray green, brass, deep red intense, whatever that means, basic skin tone, and rubber black. Because I noticed my Vallejo color is called tire black, I do believe. And it is an air color, which means it's watered down. Right? Where's it at? Yeah, right here. This is tire black, model air, Vallejo. It's an excellent color. It's just, it's an airbrush color, and it doesn't have the same pigment level. So I decided to try AK's rubber black and see what it looks like. Yeah, and the field gray green. I want to see if it's, because see, this is their German field gray. This is like their base color, and I really like this field gray, which I don't know if you can see how that's more gray and that's more green. That's what I'm hoping for, something closer to this, maybe in the middle. Because I've tried a lot of different field grays, and I used to think this was the best field gray, right? And when it dries, I didn't realize, but when it dries, it's really dark. And so it's not as good as I thought. It's great for base coating, but not highlighting. And that's great for highlighting. So I'm just hoping to get a new field gray, one that works. I know my mic's completely out of the way. You probably didn't hear any of that, but that's okay. And I want to let you guys know that V&V has given me a tracking number. It left Kiev on the 18th. Was that 9 days ago? So however long it takes it to get from Kiev to here will be the the shipping time. I was going to show you the order on AK, but I don't want to dox myself. Count numbers and stuff. Okay, so what do we got here? I'm checking my store just to be... Yep, I don't have anything going on in my store right now. Just the sale. But yeah, we had a pretty good amount of sales going out this... Oh wait, I got messages. What was... Order has been refunded. Perfect. Yeah, I sent a... Just so you know, if you guys ever order from me and eBay won't allow you to do a combined shipping, just send me a message on eBay and I will refund you whatever the combined shipping difference is. because eBay won't let you request a discount or request an invoice if the item is on sale. And lately, all my stuff's been on sale off and on, or whatever. And if that's the case, then you won't be able to request a combined shipping invoice. So just send me a message, and I'll be glad to go in and refund it. And I did that a couple of times this weekend, so that's no problem. Okay, guys. Well, I'm gonna let you guys go because I'm gonna let all that sit. FYI, I did get some plastic weld in. Right, this plastic weld. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you should be able to see it right there. ABS, styrene. I don't know what that is. Acrylic. I think it said something about foam as well somewhere. Styrofoam. Yeah, somewhere it said styrofoam. But I'm going to use this on the Rubicon AK bases, and I'm going to see if that makes a difference or not. I know that Tamiya makes a ABS glue as well, but we'll see. Because otherwise, I'm having to use super glue, and I would prefer to use a plastic cement. All right, so this color is done as well for now. Right? Okay. I've got all these browns out here to do horses, but I might be able to do. Yeah, I think I'm just going to do flesh on everybody. That's going to be the next color, but not right now. I still got a lot of work to do for my Traveler campaign as well. And you're not going to enjoy sitting here watching me, taking screenshots and uploading photos and stuff like that. So I will probably be on again tomorrow. So come check me out. You guys have a great day. And what do they say? May your dice roll